Hi, I'm John, and this is Karina San Martin.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we're here once again
Yes.
at the Drop.
Welcome back, everybody.
Dropping truth and bringing life.
Yes, definitely.
And so we've been talking a little bit about how to live an intentional life.
Right.
Not by accident,
Yes.
but intentionally.
Yes, yeah.
So that means you have to choose
Yes.
to do certain things.
Right.
You know, it's just not going to happen by accident.
Yeah, no, and I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking, when you said it has to happen by choice, not by accident.
Yeah.
And most of you know, but for those of you who don't, I help lead worship here at the church, and so every Sunday morning we have practice at 8:00 a.m. and we do things. We get ready, and there's times where we're working on like a part of the song or whatever, and we're like, okay, no, we need to do this here, and you need to do that, and come in here and there. So we'll say, okay, let's practice it. So we'll practice it, and then I'll be like, okay, let's stop. And I said, let's do it again to make sure it wasn't an accident.
Yeah.
In other words,
That's
like,
good.
let's
That's
make
good.
sure we did that on purpose, and we didn't just accidentally all do the right thing at the right time, and I've been saying it for years, and they all still laugh because they know it's true.
It's just funny.
That
It's
sometimes it could just be like, it's an accident, we all did it right. Okay, let's try this again, make sure we're doing this on purpose.
Right.
All that to say, like, even living intentionally in your life, like, it's okay to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, and it's okay to even say okay, am I being intentional with this?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that was really great. How did I get there? Did it happen on accident?
Yeah.
Or did I do it on purpose? And if it happened on accident, which doesn't happen a lot, at least pedal back and say, what did I do?
Exactly.
Because I liked the result, and now
Yeah.
let me be intentional moving forward
Yeah.
and make sure I'm doing this on purpose.
Yeah, it's funny because I say that a lot of people have spiritual accidents.
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
spiritually speaking, they get a miracle or they get a breakthrough, and they look back and they have no idea what they did.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, man, if I can't repeat it again, if I can't do it intentionally, then it was an accident, But when what I like about this subject is that when we live intentionally, we're constantly aware of, hey, this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And it could be that maybe I feel in a way that is opposite than what I need to do.
Oh man, I think it happens that way a lot.
But when you live an intentional life, you realize, okay, I know the benefits of this, and I know what this is going to get me, and the progress I'm going to be able to make. And so you have a strong why.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so today we're going to talk a little bit about intentional words.
Intentional with our words.
I'm telling you, this is my power, but this is also my trap.
I think this is something that everybody struggles with, especially intentional with the words about ourselves.
Right.
And then to others. And man, this summer I feel like I've told my kids probably a million times, are you being kind with your words? Can we please be kind with our words?
I remember your mom, my wife, Karen, used to say, use your words. Use your words.
Oh my gosh.
Or she would say, make good choices.
Use your words. I feel like with my kids, I need to be use your words properly. Let's clarify.
But I love there's a scripture here in Ephesians chapter 4:29 that kind of adds some light. This says, don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful.
Yeah, that's so good.
So that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them.
That's good.
And that
just tells you exactly
how to be. It's like a guideline right there.
Yeah.
It's a guideline.
Yes, how to be with your words. And I think, I know in Proverbs, I don't know the exact reference, but it talks about how the power of life and death is in the tongue, and it's basically saying, it gives all these really cool examples of, the power of your words and your tongue. And I think this is a great guide and a good check to be sometimes we really do have to stop ourselves and think and ask ourselves, what's going to come if I say this?
Sure.
You know, is it going to be good for
Yeah.
me? Is it going to be good for them? And
Yeah.
should I say it? Should I not? And that's
Is it
hard to
going
do.
to encourage? Is it going to edify? Is it going to build
Yeah.
or tear down?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure.
I got to watch myself all the time because I'm quick with the mouth. You know, I am quick. And Karen, my wife, your mom, she's the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, she'll think about something later and she'll say, man, I should have said this. Or I should have said that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I'm the same way.
And I'm like, oh man, you should have said this, and this.
That's so funny.
So I'm quick to come back. You know, I got quick comebacks. But on the other hand, those quick comebacks can be a problem.
So, yeah,
You
of
know,
course, sometimes.
because they're
yeah.
not always encouraging or they're not always edifying.
Yeah.
And that's why I have to watch myself. And I have to be very conscious, especially at home, you know, because you
Right.
get so relaxed with
Oh,
your
yeah.
family. You get, you know, so comfortable.
Yeah.
Dr. Ed Cole used to say, familiarity tends to breed contempt.
Content. Yeah.
So you get
sure.
too comfortable and
Yeah.
you say whatever you want to say.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, we have to be a little bit more conscious
Yeah.
of what is it that I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I think that this scripture does give us like a good guide. You know, it says like, well, first it's pretty clear. Like, don't use foul or abusive language. Like, I think that's really strong.
Yeah.
And you know, I think a lot of times we read scripture and we read things and we think like, oh yeah, okay, you know, how can I apply this to
Yeah.
how I interact with others or whatever?
Yeah.
But I think we have to apply it to our self interactions too.
Absolutely.
You know, like.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are the person who talks to ourselves
Yeah.
like the most negative sometimes in our minds.
That's a good point, right?
You know,
there.
and I think
Good
if
point.
you want to live intentionally, you also have to understand that how you speak to yourself
Yeah.
has to be very intentional
You
too.
have to be aware of that because definitely that can drag you down.
Yeah, it could drag you down. It could stop you from
Yeah.
moving forward. It could, you know, make you not believe in yourself or not believe that you can achieve something. And so I think this is important to do for yourself too. And then, you know, let everything you say be good and helpful.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's like a big stopper right there.
That guideline right there just nails it.
Yeah,
Because
and
you're
it's-
going like, okay, what else is there to say here?
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that nails it down. You know, if it's like I told Karen the other day, you know, because I said something to her that wasn't very nice, and I said, you know, I'm gonna make a commitment that I'm not gonna say anything unless it's gonna be encouraging or edifying. And so I find myself not saying too much.
A little more quiet in the
A
Arana
little more
home,
quiet,
maybe.
a little more careful, you know. But no, I think this is
that's a really good
powerful
guide.
thing.
Yeah.
Because also the words that come out of your mouth can impact directly the relationship.
Oh, definitely. And
You
I
know?
think that's why it is important to be intentional with our words. And I think it is something that we really don't think about often. You
Yeah.
know, we just say whatever we feel or say
Oh,
whatever we
I've
think.
met people like that say, oh, I just say whatever comes to mind
Yeah. And
because I just want to be out front and
yeah,
transparent.
I just want to be honest. I just want to be whatever. And it's like I get there's the side to that. Like, yeah, there
Right.
should be space to be honest. But at the same time, like, you don't want to be unwise in what you say and how you say it.
I tell them, not everything you think deserves
Needs
to
to
be uttered.
be, yeah, right.
So,
it's true.
you know, and
it's true.
that doesn't mean I'm interested in everything you think either.
Right, exactly, yeah. and it's good to have this guide set before you, you know, like on a regular basis, you know, like, hey, is this good? Is this helpful? Because I think even with like, you know, criticism or things that you
Yeah.
might see, like it, for example, like in a job, like
Yeah.
if you see something, like if you oversee somebody and you see something like what they're doing is not working. It's not
working.
right. You know,
Yeah.
like you can say something in a really bad way, or you can
Exactly.
say something in a good way
In a
and
good
still
way.
achieve the
Yeah.
same communication point. And so I think it is good to ask yourself, like, okay, how can this be good and how can this be helpful? And if it's not helpful,
that's good.
I shouldn't say it. And I think the flip side also is like to be okay with probably more in those comfortable relationships. Like I know sometimes my husband tells me and sometimes I tell him, I'm like, that's not helpful. You know, like what you just said was not helpful to the situation.
Right. We're not moving forward with that
like,
one.
And then we'll be like, okay, you're right, I'm sorry, you know. So this is a really good
well, I mean, think about it. There's so many things that we battle today that have to do with something that somebody said to us in the past.
Yeah.
You know,
very true. Very true.
And I love this quote that I have here. It says, Mother Teresa once said, kind words may be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless.
Ooh, that's a beautiful quote.
Very nice, very nice. And you realize that a lot of people are not battling with things that they've done today, but things that have been said to them in the past. Like, oh, you know, like, Some parents will even say to the kids, "Oh, you're so stupid." You know, well, what do you know? You know, you're not going to amount to much. You know, and you think like, "Oh my gosh." Those words have to destroy. You know?
No, yeah. And it is important to evaluate, you know, what are my words doing? You know, and I think that's a good question to ask ourselves. Like, you know, what are my words doing to the people around me? And what are my words doing to myself?
Exactly.
And I think if you don't pause every now and then and evaluate that, then it could very easily get off track. You know, because we are emotional beings. We are people who think and feel, and God gave us those abilities. But sometimes if we allow those emotional moments and words to take over, like you said earlier, like we could possibly be doing damage to certain relationships, especially if you don't go and mend that. You know, it's important to evaluate.
I think one of the things that I like about this subject is that we also have the power to do good.
That's right.
With our words, if we're intentional. We have the power to build people up. We have the power to set people free. We have the power to destroy lives, you know, by being intentional with the words that we speak over ourselves and over other people. You know, and I think one of the things that should distinguish us as Christians is how we treat other people.
Oh yeah, I agree totally.
You know, and so that has to do with how we communicate with other people as well. You know, and we got to use wisdom, and that means
definitely.
You know, you can't just go in there like a bull in a china store and just this is where blah, 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 and everybody's like, whoa, hold on.
Oh my gosh, I've definitely experienced those types of interactions, and the older, you know, like me being the person doing that, and the older I get, you know, like the more I recognize quicker after the fact. Sometimes
after the burst.
Sometimes I catch it before, and I'm like, I know I can't interact right now because I'm not in a good headspace.
That's good.
And
it's good to
you know,
be aware of that.
And when I listen to that and I catch myself and I think, okay, if I say all these things I want to say, you know, it's just gonna make it worse. It's gonna make it 10 times worse. But if I pull back and I come back to this in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, I'm probably going to be able to think a lot more clear, and I'm going to be able to communicate better. I'm not going to be tearing anybody down or making more people upset. And, you know, so sometimes you do have to just take that break and take that moment, because you're right. Like, your words, no matter what situation you're in, like, your words basically are going to take you one of two ways. They're going to take you up or take you down in the situation, you know? And it's important to know.
Or how about a third one? They'll take you out.
Or they will take you totally out. My gosh, yeah. And as you were talking about the power of how our words can build, we do something in our house where, like, if we see the kids are like just like really fighting and getting into it, or like talking mean to each other, you know, because whatever, they're tired or they're just being brats, whatever. You know, we'll sit everybody down and we'll say, okay, everybody's going to go around the table and you're going to say one thing you love about so-and-so. And they're like, ugh.
Oh, that's definitely a change of state.
Yeah,
right there.
and then my husband will look at a couple of our kids who I will not name, and he'll look at them and he'll say, and it has to be genuine. You can't say like, you're funny, you know?
Yeah.
And so we'll take time and we'll do that,
Yeah.
and everyone will say, you know, I love that you this, and I love when you that, and then by the time we're done, it's like
it changes the whole
everybody's
atmosphere.
so much better.
Oh, yeah, it does, it does. And I think that one of the takeaways for me from this is that, you know, critical words do not produce progress.
That's really good.
Critical words
Really, really good.
is not going to produce progress no matter how right you think you are.
Yeah.
You know, because we justify our critical comments by, well, I know I'm right about this, so I'm
really
just
good.
going to say it. And I think that we have to learn that only encouraging and positive words will actually make progress.
Yeah, it's true.
And
it's true.
It's hard to catch it all the time, though, because, you know, you can get emotional about things
know, it's true.
and say things that you're not supposed to say. But if you want to make progress, whether it is at your job or in the business and sales or relationship in your marriage with your children, then be more aware of being intentional with your words.
Yeah.
That they would
it's
encourage
so good.
and that they would build up the people around you. And I
Yeah,
think that if we
definitely.
practice that
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
we're going to see a difference in the relationships around us and the
definitely.
environment around us, because this is a very powerful
Yeah.
principle.
And I believe that you'll feel a difference in yourself too,
Yeah.
you know, because like, I mean, you know, even if you don't like want to admit it, I think like you know how you're affecting people.
You know if you're a builder or a destroyer.
You do, right. You know, and so you know, and when you see that you're building people, like
Yeah.
when you're building up your kids, when you're building up your
Yeah.
spouse, like when you're building up your coworkers, not only do like all those people want to be around you more,
Yeah.
because who doesn't want to be around a builder?
That's right.
You know, but you begin to feel better about how you are as a person and
Yeah.
how you're impacting others, and
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool like side benefit to being intentional with your words.
Yep.
You know, and I love this line that's here. It says in our notes, it says, living intentionally means seeking out a chance to make someone else's day with a well-timed word.
That's good.
The
I like
kind that stays with them for all the right reasons.
That's good.
You know,
That's good.
and
I
I think
like that.
that's a good goal to have. Like, are my words staying with people for the right reasons?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And I think that is the bottom line of all relationships.
Yeah.
You know, the more intentional we are at making our words that are going to build and edify, I think, man, the happier we're all going to be.
Yeah.
And the
That's
more we're going to grow, because we're living in an environment that is conducive to growth
Yeah.
and to trust and transparency. So
Yeah,
so
that's
anyhow, if you're going to live intentionally,
Yeah.
then your words have to be part of
Yeah.
that.
I like what you said. Be a builder.
Be a builder.
Be a builder with
Yeah.
your words. Build others up.
Yeah.
Build yourself up, and you'll see it. It will make a difference in
Big
the way that you
difference.
live your life. Yeah.
So hey, thank you for being here once again at the
Yes.
Drop. We talked today about letting your words be intentional to build others and to build yourself, and we just hope that this has been encouraging. And be nice. Say nice things. And I speak to myself as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
You know, and I think you're gonna see a
good.
huge difference in your life and the life
Oh,
of
yeah.
people around you. So
It's like I've been telling my kids forever, all summer long, if you can't say it kind, then just keep your mouth shut.
that's pretty much it. So anyhow, thank you for being at the Drop once again.
Yes.
And I hope to see you on the next episode.